Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte. What's going on, everybody out there? Fantasy football semifinal week. What a week. First of all, before we get into any of that, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you had a great time with your family, enjoyed the holiday, enjoyed the time off, enjoyed food, enjoyed your gifts, all of those things. I'm here with Weston today. Weston, I know I asked you offline, but how was your Christmas, buddy?
Not bad, man. Low key. We talked about why, but it was certainly enjoyable. When it's quiet like that, you find that you're doing some extra things with the little ones and the family. So it was awesome. I too want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Echo Jason's sentiment. Hope you had a great time with friends and family. But Jason, before we dive in, I'm throwing a curveball at you, and I wanted to issue a public apology, like so many players do, for their wrongdoing. So I regret my behavior and my actions last week as it relates to Javonte Williams slander. I let down my team, my fans, my family, and most importantly, you, Jason. And I appreciate this opportunity to be back with you for another week.
Hey, we sorted through it. We handled it behind closed doors. We had a discussion. That's it. We're just moving on, onwards and upwards, right? So I'm glad to hear that everything was good with your Christmas. Christmas was low key as well for me as well. And also I get to enjoy football today. Just get mad about fantasy football things and about that one thing that's going to cause me to lose my parlay. That should be really fun. I can't wait for that. Like, it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars, man. It's going to be one thing and it'll be a few yards, and I just can't wait for it. But if you notice, I'm drinking a little bit early.
As you should be.
2 reasons. One, I get to enjoy the day, watch football, no analysis, anything like that. But my big home fantasy league, my Superflex league, Kelsey, Taysom Hill, Austin Eckler, Justin Fields, Gabriel Davis, all eviscerated off of my team this week.
It's just a wild right now. I mean, even like you look at the Colts game last night, like last minute, all of a sudden Darius Leonard's not playing, right? And like that completely changes the complexion of games. And so I'll pour one back for you afterwards. I only got one where I'm riding the semis right now, and I faced Rodgers last night and Devontae Adams as a pair. So we're off to a great start in that league.
Let me compound that by telling you that my opponent started A.J. Brown and Deebo Samuel.
Oh, my goodness. You know what? Like, this just feels like Thursday rolling into Sunday, hence why I'm wearing what I am wearing today. I'm trying to make a public statement here.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well, that's spicy. Here, I pulled the Ren and Stimpy shirt out, but let's get to some questions real quick. All right, Alvaro, Patriots or Finns? I actually had this decision to make, right? And the Patriots are playing the Bills. No Cole Beasley, no Gabriel Davis, stingy Patriots defense, Josh Allen still, Stephon Diggs. I actually am rolling Miami here. Ian Book is going to be starting on Monday. The Miami defense has been very good for fantasy. I understand the Patriots have for many weeks been the number one fantasy defense, but I really, right now I'm swinging for the fences with this defensive pick, right? And I'm hoping for big plays, turnovers, and I'm going with Miami here.
Yeah, I think this is the week of all weeks where you need the plus side, right? And everything that you just said, like, yes, no Cole Beasley, no Gabriel Davis. I get all that, but there's still Josh Allen. There's still Stephon Diggs, right? There's still a potential threat from that offense that New England is facing. And I just feel like with a rookie and Ian Book for the New Orleans Saints, Miami's defense has never been the actual issue here, right? It's been the offense. And now against a rookie quarterback under the lights Monday night, I just feel like they're going to show and show big, and 49ers fans hope they do as well, because we need the Saints to lose the game here. But that being said, I would roll with the fish here as well.
Absolutely. Cool. Steph, thank you for joining. With Kelsey out, oh my God, man. My Kelsey and Kittle stack, man, it's ruined. It's ruined. I can't believe it at this moment. Like, I literally had the leg up, and that's what got me into the playoffs, was having both of those studs. And unfortunately, this is the undoing. But is Oshag Hennessy a desperate, decent play? I actually am starting him in a dynasty league that I don't have Darren Waller, so I don't hate it. If you have other options, maybe you can shoot them out there, and maybe you could find something that's different. Foster Moreau would be somebody that I would love to have, clearly, but he's probably gone. It's really tough. If you tell me some names that you have on there, maybe I can come up with a better one, but I don't hate the Shag Hennessy call here.
I don't either. And I think it's a combination of things. Like, obviously you'd much rather be playing Travis Kelce. We get that. But the reality is tight end has been an issue for a few weeks now. So the waiver wire is really, really lean, right? Like Darren Waller's been out for a while. So people have gone and gotten Foster Moreau and other handcuffs. So I'm stealing your thunder here too. But I actually, Steph, I have no issue running with O'Shaq Hennessy in this particular one because I know your options are limited. It's just what it boils down to.
Karthik, shout out to you, man. Patriots or Eagles defense. I like this one too. The Eagles are going up against Jake Fromm and the New York Giants, and the Patriots are going up against the Bills. I think in this instance, I take the safe play, and I'm leaning the Patriots here. There's something weird about, the way that those divisional games go, and Jalen Hurts didn't play particularly well against the Giants, threw a lot of interceptions, which put them on the other side of the field, which, you have that rookie quarterback who's never really played, but you're going to give up points when you're turning the ball over. Something's weird going on with them. I understand the sentiment, but I'm going to play it safe and stick with the Patriots.
I so badly want to disagree with you, but I can't. I think I'm going with New England here as well. I've talked about this all the time, where when you have these backup quarterback scenarios that got nothing to lose, like they let it rip, freaky things happen in divisional games. And this is a must-win game for the Philadelphia Eagles as well. They need to win out, and that just puts it on shaky ground. So in this instance, I would roll with New England.
Okay. Karthik has this is a beautiful one, man. This is tough. Dawson Knox is the only active tight end today for the Bills. The only active one. No Cole Beasley, no Gabriel Davis. Dallas Goddard is the man in Philly. Weston, I'll let you start on this one because this one's tough.
Yeah. To me, this is going to be Goddard. I think Belichick, knowing that, hey, Knox is the only play in town in terms of from a tight end perspective. Josh Allen's proven to love Dawson Knox, and I think Bill's going to do his best to take Knox out of the equation, and it's hard to ignore the momentum that Goddard has been picking up. I know some of that was with Minshew, and then last week you saw what he did with on Tuesday night. You saw what he was able to do with Jalen Hurts. I just think Goddard's a target monster, right? Like 12 to 15 targets in a game, and if he turns that into 8-12 completions and finds the end zone, that's a big play for you. And if it's any consolation, I'm rolling with Goddard.
Yeah, I'll roll Goddard here too, but it's close. And I don't think that there's really a bad way to look at this because I feel like what's going on over there in New England is going to be a lot of, okay, we're not going to let Stephon Diggs do anything in this game, and we're going to take that away. So I think that there will be opportunities for Knox, but I do think it's Goddard only because of the target share and just, that offense is in a better spot against a worse defense, in my opinion. All right. Bay Area baller. I lost Kelce and Taysom Hill and replaced them with Zach Wilson and Cole Kmet. Yippee. Oh, yeah. I replaced Travis Kelce. I started Kittle at tight end, waiting to see if he was going to, I had him in my flex, but I get to move Javonte Williams in there, so I feel kind of good. But here's my spicy one, and here's the one where I'm swinging for the moon because I lost Tyler Huntley. Josh Johnson, 49ers legend. I'm starting him this week as my second quarterback over Derek Carr, over Cam Newton. I'm banking on that rushing opportunity that he'll have. And in the Indianapolis game, when he was forced into duty with the Jets, he actually scored 27 fantasy points in 3 quarters. So I am going to roll with him and hope for the best because I do not trust Derek Carr against the Denver Broncos. They don't have weapons. The one time that he did throw for 300-something yards, Henry Ruggs was there. Waller played. They had the full complement of weapons. I do not think Fangio lets them get off. So I am not going to sit there and look at a 9-point game from Derek Carr and feel happy about that. I'm going to take my chances because I need all the help in the world that I can get at this time.
Yeah, I mean, this is a shitty equation for a Bay Area baller. I get it, man, right? Like, we're all faced with this right now, and it sucks that it happens at this time of the year. But one thing you just said, Jason, I absolutely love. I think there is a high ceiling for Josh Johnson today. I've always just been a fan of his. I still don't know why, but he does have moments where he shines. Like you mentioned when he was a Jet. And what I love about what Baltimore has done with these quarterbacks that they bring in, whether it's Lamar, whether it's Huntley, whether it's Josh Johnson, they don't have to change the offense, right? Like these guys have similar skill sets, right? And I think Josh Johnson's going to scramble around a little bit, use his legs. He's fresh. And he's going to air that thing out too. He's not shy. He will let that rock go. So It's either going to be boom or
Mm-hmm.
bust, and I'm airing on boom from Josh.
I need it, man.
Yep.
My lineup, like luckily I lost Eckler. I had Justin Jackson. Luckily, Alexander Madison was sitting on my bench and everything. That's fine. But I was still going into this thinking that Kittle was going to have a really good game and Kelsey was going to, really help me out. And it's just like, it's like, what can you do at this point? So, Daniel, what's up? Hope you all had a good Christmas. We did. Appreciate you, bro. So I'm in the semifinals and Jonathan Taylor had a subpar game. Isn't it always that? Like yesterday, I put $50 on Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown score. This is the 1 week out of the last 10 that he doesn't score. It's ridiculous. So I need a good game for my RB2. Javonte Williams, Ronald Jones, Rashad Penny. I'm going to take Penny off of this list. That right now is just too volatile. I don't want to do it. So it would be between Javonte and Ronald Jones. You ready for this one? I think I lean Ronald Jones.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Javonte.
Do I have to kick you out of your own show?
Kick his ass out. Kick his ass out. No, realistically, Javonte is just there still with Melvin Gordon. He should have a fine game. But if you're looking for a little bit more upside, I think it's from Ronald Jones. He is the only game in town at all. I fully expect Tom Brady, even without Godwin and Evans, to prove a point because a lot of people were talking crazy about him this week. And this is one of those games where it's like he's going to throw up a middle finger. They'll have plenty of opportunities to score. He should get 1 or 2 goal line touchdowns. So if you're looking for the high upside, I think it's with Ronald Jones. And you know that I mean that wholeheartedly. You know that I mean that. And I'm coming from the heart with that one.
Yeah, so I'm actually going with Javonte on this one. And
yeah,
I don't,
better.
I don't.
It was a test and you passed.
Makeup call. But with Ronald, like, yes, only game in town. I think he's going to get plenty of touches. But what scares me the most is, to your point, like Brady's always plays with his chip on his shoulder. Feels like he has something to prove, even at 43 and with his resume. So I'm thinking like 3 to 4 touchdowns from Brady. And what pains me the most, dude, and we've seen this for 17 years now, is they'll get down to the 1 yard line and it's a QB sneak. It's not Ronald Jones getting into the end zone. And that like scares me because I think they'll have those opportunities. So I just think Javonte will get less touches, but be more productive with those touches and has the opportunity for a more explosive play out of the backfield. So I would go Javonte Williams.
All right. I love it. You know me. I'm with that. Miles Sanders or Gibson for RB2. We don't know if Gibson's going to play this week. So here's what I would tell you, Kartik. Yeah, here's what I would tell you. If you're leaning Antonio Gibson, put Jarrett Patterson on your bench right now because that's an 8:20 game. And if he gets declared out at 7:30, then you missed out on all the points. And I don't want to wait on a desperation thing. So for me, I think I just kind of lean Miles Sanders because I want the given points.
Yeah. The toe scares me for Gibson. I know like turf toe sounds like the most baby of injuries, but it's a real thing, right? And especially as a running back who's constantly pushing off that foot. It's not like a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers who can gimp around on it and, scheme around on it. And you've seen what the Philadelphia rushing attack has done over the last 4 or 5, 6 weeks, right? I think they're averaging like 200 plus yards a game as a team, and Miles Sanders is a big component of that. So given the uncertainty, I think you can't risk it. You don't want Patterson in there, like in your semis. Like this has to be Miles Sanders.
For sure. You just take your given points right there. Is Ricky Seals-Jones a good play? He's a touchdown or bust tight end streamer at this point. I wouldn't say a good play. If he scores, you're happy. Heineke's back, so that makes you feel better. But, yeah, it's risky. Nick Folk is not questionable to start for once. Steph, Foster Moreau's available, then I'm going to play Moreau over Oshag Hennessy. Yeah, in my opinion, just because all he really needs to get off, like he didn't really have too much of a good matchup against Cleveland last week, but he got you 13 points. And I think that if you get 10 this week with Kelsey out, I think you count your blessings. And I think your clearest path to that with all the targets and the way Derek Carr checks it down and they run things for him, I think it would be Moreau.
Yeah, if this is a PPR league too, Steph, I think Moreau is definitely the safer play than Oshag Hennessy. Just on pure, he's gonna get targets. Almost said Oakland. Las Vegas's offense still wants to roll through the tight end. They still have to incorporate it, and it's going to come down to production. So if Moreau is available, I think you have to play him
for sure. Rogelio, I'm sorry, I probably butchered that name. I apologize, buddy. Morning, guys. I need one running back and 3 flexes. Javonte, Gordon, Renfro, Mixon, Michelle, Barkley, Justin Jackson. Good gosh. Justin Jackson's a must start.
Yes.
I think this week. So he's in.
I don't see how. I know it's Baltimore. I know it's divisional. I don't see how
Mixon.
you don't start Mixon. You have to
That's
play
2.
Mixon. Yeah.
So you need 4 of these guys, right?
You need 4.
2. Javonte,
and
Renfro.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like Michelle's got some positivity. Barkley, is positivity, but I'm looking at Javonte, Renfro, Mixon, and Justin Jackson. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Eric, my thought process with this is both of those guys could give me 9 points, but only one of these guys has real boom potential, and I'm just shooting for the stars. And if I take my 4 points or whatever, and Josh Johnson doesn't play well, then whatever. Derek Carr's 12 points from the superflex spot isn't going to win me this matchup. Yeah. And I have to take a shot here. I really do. That's the way I'm thinking about it. Conventional wisdom has to go out of the window when you need a win. Like, it's just there's no next week.
Yeah.
So
it's Bruce Arians' role, right? Like, no risk it, no biscuit. Like that, you gotta roll the dice here.
That's it. Manuel Sanders or Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is the only game in town this week. Matt Breida's a healthy scratch today, but that Patriots run defense is nothing nice. I think I lean Singletary here.
I'm going to lean towards Singletary. I usually do err on the side of the running back in these scenarios, and Singletary will catch some passes out of the backfield. And I think Buffalo's going to have to pretend to establish the run, right? Like, they're going to have to give it.
And he catches passes too.
Yeah. I'm going Singletary.
Yeah, I'm good with that as well. All right. XO, it seems like this is the same question every week, man. Burrow or Russ? Russ against who is Seattle? Chicago with Nick Foles starting. God.
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, man. And Joey Burrow against Baltimore. Last time Joe Burrow played Baltimore, he lit them up.
Yeah. I know that the defense is lackluster in Chicago right now, and I know this is a home game for Seattle, but I just can't trust anything that Russ is doing right now in my especially if I'm in the semis. So I think I have to go Burrow because they're gonna throw the football. You know that for a fact. I mentioned how Seattle just tries to, like, late in the season, make muddy games, low scoring games, play sloppy football. I think Baltimore Cincinnati is going to be a little bit more high scoring than most people anticipate. So I'd roll Burrow here.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm sticking with Joey as well too here. You'll get those interceptions and things, but it's just I would go for it right here. Karthik, you never bench Deontay Johnson. Never, man. Can't. All right. Raiders place Marcus Mariota and Bryan Edwards. This is more of a reason why I don't want to play Carr now. Now Bryan Edwards is not playing. See?
Jesus.
Right decision. Boom. Nailed it. All right. But was it reserved? Is it reserved COVID? Sure is. Nathan Peterman and Dylan Stoner are in behind those guys. So, yeah, again, I feel way better about this Derek Carr thing. And, Steph, if you're still in here, no Bryan Edwards, more Foster Moreau.
Absolutely.
Okay. Daniel O, Devontae Parker or CeeDee Lamb. Thanks, guy. Really appreciate it. I think you go with CeeDee, man. I can't bench him.
Not in the semis, man. I know it's looked a little different the last few weeks, but that whole offense has looked a little different. But this has to be CeeDee Lamb. Has to be.
Yeah, I agree. So what I want to do is I want to talk about some props that I'm a little bit bullish on. If you guys are into any sort of betting, this is where fantasy football can make you money. If you're into fantasy football, prop betting is the way to go. Because matchups, when guys are going to have good games, and certain props come out and you're like, man, that is way too low. I'm smashing the over on this, right? So some of the ones that I'm big on this week, Michael Gallup over 46.5 receiving yards. I feel like that's stealing. That's easy money at this point, especially with the way he's been playing lately. Devin Singletary over 13.5 receiving yards. That's too easy. That's way too easy.
That's 2 catches.
Yeah, exactly. Darnell Mooney over 48.5. Only game in town. I don't care. He's going to get 15, 16 targets this week. There's no way that he doesn't end up with more than 48.5. Javonte Williams over 57. That's too easy. And Tony Pollard over 44.5. Like he has been the better running back the last 2 weeks, and he's as healthy as he's been. Apparently, there was a new report that came out today that he's feeling as good as he is. So those are some. If you want to run a parlay, I feel very confident in. When I do my parlays, I take one that is a little bit longer odds to increase the chances of obviously a big win. So, for instance, in one 6-leg parlay, which is plus 5,629, which that means it's like no chance. Yeah, look at Weston laughing. So Alexander Madison over 67.5. Sony Michel scores a touchdown. Justin Jackson over 61.5. Ronald Jones scores a touchdown. Deontay Johnson over 75.5. And Michael Gallup over 46.5. I feel pretty good about those. But again, it'll be Justin Jackson will have 60 yards. It'll be, Alexander Madison has 66 yards. Something like that is going to take that down. And then one more that I want to throw out there before we get to more questions. Odell Beckham over 44.5. I feel like that's easy, especially with the way he's been playing lately. I've got Devin Singletary over 13.5 receiving yards. T. Higgins over 60.5. I think that's stealing. Darnell Mooney over 48.5. Javonte over 57.5 rushing yards, and Tony Pollard over 44.5. So I feel too good. I feel good about those two.
I'm so glad you brought this up, because I was talking to a buddy from work this week, and he was asking me about my input on like betting parlays. He's gotten super into parlays, but he's doing team parlays. And I told him I got out of team parlays like a long time ago, because there's always one that disappoints you in your 5, 6, 7 teams. And I pointed him in this direction saying, no, you need to do player prop parlays. I'm not going to say they hit at a higher efficiency, but it keeps you involved in the games, right? And it finds it becomes like a fantasy football mentality, right? You're rooting for the individual players just like you are in fantasy. So just was having this conversation earlier this week.
It's an easy way to make money in terms of you don't have to do these 5 and 6 ones. I'm just trying to duplicate it. Like those two, if they hit, one hits for $869, the other one hits for $684. If both of those hit, then I'm walking away with almost $2,000 worth of money, right? And if they don't, I've only spent $10 on each of them. So I don't feel anything about that, right? But again, that's your way to make money, because when you identify the matchups, you're good with it. So let's get back to the questions though. All right. Parker or Gage at flex is Russell Gage this week. And I hope he doesn't really go off like that. Like I hope he gives you like a solid 10, Vader Joe, because I'm facing him in my semis, but he's been too good, man. I think that it's no way you can bench him at this point. Did Weston fall off? Yeah.
I think.
No,
yeah. Am I back?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. All right, perfect. So I'm Gage as well. I've been saying Gage's name for weeks and weeks and weeks. He's a target monster up there. And that just expect that to continue for the remainder of the season.
There you go. All right. Paul Madison, sorry I'm late, but for PPR league, Dak Prescott versus Washington or Kirk Cousins versus LA, I still lean Dak. Call me an idiot, Paul, but I think that eventually it's got to break out. And I think this is the week that they finally get out of the slump. With Kirk, LA's got a great defense, man. They really do. And I'm banking on what Madison's going to do just on sheer volume. And you can't bench Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen's the one that worries me a little bit more, but Jalen Ramsey's going to be on Justin Jefferson. So, I mean, Kirk Cousins will have a fine game, but I think Dak has boom potential this week, and I think that's what you're really looking for.
Yeah, I'm Dak as well. Minnesota needs to win this football game, and with the proven blueprint on beating the LA Rams is running the ball between the tackles, and expect them to pound it with Madison. So I love his plus side, but if I'm looking at this from a QB perspective, I agree wholeheartedly that Dallas has got to get off the offensive schneid here. Dak's got to get back in some rhythm. And this is quite honestly the defense to do it against, because this is not the same Washington football team defense of previous years. So I'd go Dak.
Perfect. All right. Gustavo's got some questions, man. Yo, my guys, Noah Fan or Hunter Henry with a Kelsey out with the flu. I go Hunter Henry. I mean, anytime that Mac Jones needs a throw in the red zone, it's to Hunter Henry.
Yeah, he's a red zone monster and a big third down play guy for Mac Jones as well. This is easily Hunter Henry, in my opinion.
I mean, in Indianapolis, Mac Jones didn't have a good game, but Hunter Henry had 2 tuds. I mean, that's all you really can ask for at this point. Gustavo has another question. Am I crazy to start Russell Gage over Amari Cooper? You're not crazy. You just going for the gusto. This is a hero play right here. Like, it's like this one's like, grab your nuts and like, you know, when you pound your chest when you nail this one. But Cooper just hasn't been producing, and he actually came out and yelled a little bit at the media. So here's why I say no to that, Gustavo. Squeaky wheel. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I think this is the week that Cooper bounces back.
It better be the week. But that being said, I love this, right? Like I love the gusto here from Gustavo around start engage. I don't think this is as crazy, right? Because the proof is in the pudding, and there's been no pudding from Cooper for the last few weeks, and there's been plenty from Gage. But to your point, this is like a life lesson. The squeaky wheel always gets the grease. So expect early targets forcing the issue to Amari Cooper this week.
Yep, I agree. I think that they get back on track, and there's a report out there that Dak worked this entire week with all wide receivers. It's going to happen across the board. Start your Dallas Cowboys this week. That's why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling when I talk about Michael Gallup too. Patrick Mahomes or Matthew Stafford. No Travis Kelce in this game. Tyreek Hill did clear protocol. I think I lean Matthew Stafford here, man. I don't know, bro. Like lately, with the way that they've been running their offense as well, I don't think they're going to have to throw too much against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's offense is going to have a tough time keeping up with them. I think I lean Stafford.
This is hard, right? Because when do you ever not play Patrick Mahomes, right?
Right.
It's just,
and you drafted him to play him every week.
Yeah. I'm going Mahomes. I just can't find it in my gut to you drafted him early, and you drafted him for a reason. The only week he doesn't play for you is a bye week. So I think, and that's probably been the case the majority of this season for Karthik. So I think you just got to, if you're at the semis right now and Patrick Mahomes is part of that, just keep rolling with it.
Okay. I don't hate it. You're in a great spot, Karthik. Those are two amazing options. You're fine. I mean, it might be the difference of like Mahomes scoring 24 and Stafford scoring 22. So it's not like boom or bust or anything like that. Like one way or another, you're in a good spot here. I love that portion because it allows us to hedge and like get out of like our decision as well too. It was just like either is good.
I'm not wrong, right?
I'm wrong. I was right about that. All right. Michael Brown wants to know pick 2. Monty, Zeke, Javonte, Justin Jackson, PPR. My opponent has Herbert, Kupp, and Taylor. So Taylor didn't have too big of a game, so you're okay. Kupp's gonna go off. Nothing you can do about that. Herbert's gonna go off. Pretty much nothing you can do about that either. But if you want to take the strategy of siphoning points from Herbert, then Justin Jackson is one of your plays, right? You have 4 great options here.
Yeah.
Ooh, you go first.
Yeah. I really like Justin Jackson this week. I just do, against a Houston defense. So I'm going to go Justin Jackson. And believe it or not, I think I'm going to go David Montgomery. I think those are going to be the two that I play in this scenario. We talked about Zeke and Pollard in that timeshare. We talked about Javonte and Melvin Gordon in that timeshare. So I'm looking at this as like plus side, who's going to get the most totes, who's going to get the most looks. Montgomery does everything for them. So I'm looking at Montgomery and Justin Jackson in this game.
I love the Montgomery call because he is the hog, and you know that right now with Foles, they're gonna make sure they get screen plays, and anybody like that's close to the goal line, it's him. Justin Fields takes away from rushing because he takes some of those rushing yards away. I think you're good with Monty, and Justin Jackson feels like a must start. I think at this point, it's crazy to think that the what you invested in Zeke, and it's crazy to think that I'm telling you not to play Javonte Williams either. But I think it's Justin and Monty. I think are your plays right here, man. Let's keep going. All right. Yes, Paul. Has everyone in here liked this video and subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell? Got to up that algorithm for Jason. Yes, please. Make sure you do that. That Christmas Eve stream that we did after that like tweet by John Lynch. That was so much fun, man. I was so happy I was able to do that. It's so like this team is the gift that keeps on giving. I promise you, man. All year round. We have 5 days left in the year, and they will not stop giving us content. Like they just won't. Like they refuse to stop giving us content.
Write it for you.
Woo. All right. Flex Goddard or Michelle, half-point PPR. Ooh. I think I lean Sony Michelle here.
The half-point PPR throws me off a little bit. Henderson's playing, no?
Yeah, but they're in a hot hand portion
with Michelle right now.
Yeah, and Michelle is just playing better, and since they've moved over to the heavy formations more, Michelle has been the guy, and it's hard to get away from him right now. Like I have him scoring a touchdown in this game. Can you actively say that you believe that Dallas Goddard is going to score a tutty?
Yeah, actually I can say that. And I'm going to
Okay.
come out and say that I'm going
Okay.
to go Goddard here. Just because I feel like this is going to be a much more of a Matthew Stafford game against just a banged up outside of Harrison Smith, right? Don't have a lot of faith in the Minnesota secondary right now. So I actually I play Goddard here, half point PPR or not. I just think he's going to get that many targets.
All right. We got a battle of the Joneses here from Brian Edwards, who was just put on the IR, the COVID, like that. Like, and that is so perfect, man. And he has no idea how perfect that is, right? Brian Edwards literally put on the COVID list. His replacement is Zay Jones against Marvin Jones. Both Jones, okay, you couldn't have scripted that better. I think I lean Marvin Jones here. Marvin Jones. The only reason I won't say Zay Jones is because Vic Fangio is just like, he's the Kyle Shanahan of defenses. He's going to like knock them out of their place. I don't want to bet on that. At least Marvin Jones plays the Jets. I guess that's my best analysis. That's the best analysis I can give.
Yeah, I'd agree, right? Between these two players, what defenses are they going against? Who heads those defenses? Not knocking Robert Saleh. Love the man. I just don't think they have the same tools that Denver has. There's definitely take away the passing game, so I would lean towards Marvin here as well.
Okay. Vader Joe, no question, but for something for everyone to laugh at, I was scared of New England's defense, so I benched Josh Allen for Jimmy G. Vader Joe. Sorry, buddy.
I'm going to back Vader here for just a second because New England's defense is impressive.
Yeah, but Josh Allen was fine. Like, he was okay in that. Yeah. Even in that game where all the wind was there, he still did okay.
Yeah, but we're both 49er fans, right? So coming into Thursday night.
And Jimmy should have had a good game.
Should have had a good game. This was the game that he was supposed to win for us, that we knew that the running would be tough sledding. So I said he's going to have 250 and 2 touchdowns. Well, he did 322, except he just did 2 picks instead of whatever. And he had every opportunity to have more there. So Vader Joe, not the worst play, but in hindsight, like the worst play.
Oh, I didn't know we were just going to get angry about the 49ers again. I was trying to put them out of my mind this entire time.
I stay angry, dude.
Right. Gustavo, Justin Jackson or Miles Sanders at the flex PPR. I think it's Justin Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, can't sit Jackson this week.
Yeah. No, I can't. Because if you've been holding him or if you grabbed him off the waiver wire, here's the thing. He outsnapped Austin Eckler last week and had 11 PPR points. Now, against this Houston defense, him and Joshua Kelly, who Joshua Kelly is just a bruiser at this point, doesn't catch passes, it's Justin Jackson, man. It really, and no Mike Williams?
No.
Like, that's big.
I can't sit him. I just can't. Like, I can't.
Yeah. Hey, guys, would you go Josh Palmer as the wide receiver 2 versus Houston or Hollywood with the third-string quarterback? Austin, ooh. Wow. I mean, it's not a bad thought because I literally just mentioned Mike Williams is out in this game. And Parham is out and
so I'm going to go Hollywood. And I'm going Hollywood off of name, but I also think if I was Greg Roman and I was scripting this offense, I'd have number 5 patrolling close to the line of scrimmage to help Josh Johnson, right? Like don't necessarily need to take the top off the ball. I'd be dragging him across the field, 5-8 yards deep, left and right, easy dump offs, let him make some plays with the ball in his hand. So I'm going to lean Hollywood Brown in this instance.
Yeah, I think so too. And here's the reason. I'm predicting Josh Johnson to be a somewhat sneaky play this week, and Hollywood Brown's going to have to be involved in that some way. And we know that he actually can throw the ball down the field. Josh Johnson will. He actually had, like I said, 27 points, I believe, in the Indianapolis game, which he took over for Mike White. So he's capable. And again, and to Weston's point, he's making me feel way better about this. It's so true. Greg Roman doesn't have to change this offense for anybody, for any of these guys. They all have similar skill sets. I mean, obviously, we're not talking about what Lamar does. We're just saying your offense doesn't have to change much with any of these guys, and you're still able to put up points. Now, the Bengals do have a good run defense, and you're going to be banking on Josh Johnson's legs for myself, but that lends itself a little bit more that you can throw on them, and I think that's where it's going to be. So I think it would be Hollywood, in my opinion. The Josh Palmer thing, if you play him and he balls out and he ends up as a top 5 like guy this week, then it's because you are just smarter than all of us, and you just like you have the balls to do something like that. Like that's the one where you like run around the block and say, yeah, you're all idiots, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's just hard to trust right now in the semis, right? And it's just I'm trying to mitigate the risk more than anything.
Yeah.
Max Hunt, Adam Thielen, or Renfro. If this is PPR, I think I lean Renfro.
Yeah. If it's PPR, it's 100% Renfro, just on targets and what he does, and he plays in the slop. And when I say slop, I really mean slot, but he's just in the mess all the time. And Thielen coming off that injury. Ooh.
It's half
I think
it's for Hollywood and Palmer.
It's still Hollywood for me. If this was Jalen Guyton, different conversation, I feel like. But
Guyton's out too.
Yeah. So this is Hollywood.
Yeah, I think it's Hollywood. And yeah, I think it's Renfro. Just no matter what happens with this game in Oakland or Las Vegas or wherever the hell the Raiders play, Hunter Renfro is going to have like 10 catches for like 80 yards, which is something you can't like at least like minimum, so you really can't bank on that, right?
Nope.
Am I crazy about starting Burrow over Herbert? I feel like Herbert won't be slinging it all over the field today. Nah. Stick with Herbert.
Yeah. Again, just one of those guys I can't sit, right? He's gonna even if it's a conservative game, 250, 2 touchdowns, like that might be what you need here in the semis. It's gotta be Herbert.
At least I can console myself with a 100-point lead. And you're good, Vader Joe. Then that's why you can take chances like that where you bench Josh Allen for Jimmy Garoppolo. You're good. You're good, man. There you go. Would you start any Rams running back over Ronald Jones today? I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
I just can't.
Too hard. How would you guys grade my wide receiver core? Debo, wide receiver 1. Antonio Brown, wide receiver 2. Deontay Johnson, flex, A+.
Yeah, plus. Compared to what other people are throwing out from the scrap heap, I'd be happy with that all day long.
And you made the semis with Antonio Brown on your team, and now you get to unleash him as wide receiver 1 when even when he was wide receiver 3, he was getting insane volume.
Yep. Crazy.
I mean, all right, we got 23 minutes to kick off. We'll hang out for a little bit. All my lineups are set because I maniacally last night while I was in my cup was like, I'm just setting everything now. I know who's going to be playing. I pretty much don't. And I also looked at like, all right, I lost this matchup. I'm going to lose this matchup. I'm losing this matchup. So right now I would say I am in about 7 semifinals right now, including my dynasty leagues. Wasn't a really good year for me. A lot of crazy things happened. I lost a lot of crazy play. Like one league, I literally lost like J.K. Dobbins, Juju, Jameis Winston, Elijah Moore. Like it was a bloodbath. Like my entire team was just on IR, and it was just like realistically nothing you can do about things like that. But yeah, last night I made sure to just set all my lineups so this morning I don't have to go crazy. Any other league that I'm not in the semis, I don't care about consolation brackets, and I also don't make waiver wire moves because I'm not a jerk, and I want the playoff teams to actually win.
I thought of you because we talked about this last week, and I went to make a waiver wire move last night, and I was like, really? This dude who finished 11th in the league right now in the regular season is making waiver claims? And I'm just wanted to – how many leagues are you in, dude? 7 semis.
I think it's not really that good. I mean, when you look at the percentage, it's not really that good. I think this year I was over into like the 45-50 range. But again, that's dynasty leagues, right? Some dynasty leagues you're not competing. Some dynasty leagues, you're just like you're just trying to get like things going together. Like I took over a bunch of dynasty leagues that were orphan teams that were just like messes. Like, and you're just like, okay, now part of the fun of dynasty is rebuilding those teams, right? You trade away your studs so you can get more first round picks, and then you build through the draft that way. So it's not as easy as all that. In terms of redraft, I just got bounced last week, and I literally had a team that won 5 straight games. And like Alvin Kamara, CEH, Jamar Chase, Deontay Johnson, that's like the guys I'm rolling with. They scored like 53 points. You get bounced that quickly. And then I had the other league. I
can't believe you managed that many, dude.
Right. I had a league that I destroyed last year and won the championship. Right, like rolled to it. Had Travis Kelce put up 41. I lost by 4 points. I lost by 4 points on Tuesday night because I started Darrell Henderson and the person across from me started Miles Sanders and somebody else, and they just managed enough points to beat me and knock me out. Wouldn't have mattered this week because I wouldn't have had Travis Kelce anyway, but very frustrating. Like that's a team that had Kelce, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, T. Higgins. I had James Robinson finally. Like I made it that far. Henderson, and it's just like it's the luck of the draw. See, this is my argument with fantasy football. It's harder to make the playoffs than win a championship. And what I mean by that is 100% your fantasy playoffs are luck, right? Like last year on Christmas, I started Alvin Kamara, obviously. And he scored 6 touchdowns. And the guy sends me the money before the other games are played, and he's just like, congratulations. 6 touchdowns in championship week. A lot of that's luck, you know?
Yeah.
All right.
Fantasy is a lot of luck. We can all agree to that, but it's also a lot of fun and there's a lot of skill. Hence why we even get questions in this is like, hey, you do have to make some decisions along the way.
Here we go. Madison, CEH, Javonte, which one to sit? Or do I start all 3 and bench Terry? Oh my God. It's like you literally have 1, 2, 3 of my favorite players in the league. I love Madison, love Javonte, love Terry McLaurin. You know that. You go first. I don't even know how. I almost said something that I couldn't even believe I was going to say.
I can't believe I'm going to say this too because Lou and I a while ago, we did a top 10 wide receiver show, and Terry McLaurin is in my top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. Yep. The dude is super scary and super talented.
Scary Terry.
And it's because of where he plays. Nobody really knows much about it. But I actually would bench Terry in this. He's been inconsistent. The quarterback play has been rough. I know Heineke's coming back. But when I look at Madison, CEH, Javonte, and I look at their matchups this week, I just have to feel good about playing 3 running backs over that wide receiver that is going to have to be touchdown or bust, and I don't trust that offense right now.
Yeah, I can't believe I was going to say the same thing as well, too, with Terry. Like, you're going to bench Terry McLaurin, and it's just my prince, man. I hate it. I can't believe it. No. Sean, I lost Kelce this week. I picked up Moreau from the Raiders. Any other tight end suggestions? Nah, Sean, you're good, man. I mean, we just found out today that we just found out right now that Bryan Edwards is going on the COVID list. That's one less target for Derek Carr to throw the ball to. Foster Moreau is the play this week, man. Brunel Jacobs. What's up, guys? Should I drop Cortland Sutton for Josh Palmer and start him over Terry? My receivers are Renfro, Pittman, and Terry and Mooney at the flex. No, I think you've got it. I think you're good. You already started Pittman. It gave you a solid game. Didn't do anything crazy, but he didn't kill you. Renfro's the target hog. Mooney's the only game in town. I'm good with that this week, even with Nick Foles starting. And I don't think you can bench Terry for Josh Palmer unless you got some big stones, some big stones.
If we were talking about different options, this is different than the previous question when we're talking about some running backs in that equation. But yeah, I'd have to roll with who you're rolling with, those bottom 4 easily.
Sean wants to know AB or Tyreek. You can't bench Tyreek Hill.
You can't because he'll put up 50. Literally the week you bench him, he'll put up 50, and you can't do that in the semis.
I understand the sentiment, though. AB is wide receiver 1. He loves Tom Brady. There could be a world where he has like 10 catches for 118 yards and a tug, and that's what 27. But the week you bench Tyreek Hill is the one that he goes off for 40 and wins you the week, man. It's just like the reason that you drafted Tyreek Hill is for these moments.
100%. No Kelce, too.
No Kelce. I overcame Kamara to win the ship last year. Eric, I have no idea how the hell that happened. Like the commissioner, he sent me the money and was just like, enjoy, buddy. I was like, no, man. I was like, the game's not over. He was like, it's over. And yeah, I scored like literally everybody on my team went crazy. I had Mike Evans, Stephon Diggs. I had Kelce. So like everybody went crazy. Like, I had JD McKissick. JD McKissick put up like 27. Like I scored like the league high, like 275 points that week. It was like not even close. Yeah, that was a great Christmas. So good to take that money and just pass it over to your wife. Like
here.
How do you hate fantasy football? And all that?
I do it for you, baby. I do it all for you.
That's it. It got me like maybe 2 days of not having to do chores. Like, Ben YouTuber wants to know Zeke or AB full PPR.
Wow. I'll go AB here.
I think so too.
Zeke, take it from somebody who's been every week saying prayers like, come on, Zeke, let this be your week. Let this be your week. And it just never feels like his week. AB's the only game in town. Tom Brady always got something to prove. Pollard's stealing carries. I think you got to go AB here.
Yeah, I think so too, especially in full PPR in the format. I think it's too easy right now. Joshua Loyola. Apologize. Saquon or Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, last time he played the Baltimore Ravens, went for almost 200 yards earlier in the season. You're banking on a Saquon touchdown. What are we doing here?
I'm doing Jamar Chase, and I just think Philadelphia knows, hey, I got a young quarterback, first time start, maybe like 2 or 3 times starting quarterback right back there. They're gonna keen in on the run game because that's what they're gonna have to take away. And I can't ignore what Jamar Chase did against Baltimore last go around, and they're gonna have to throw this football. And candidly, I'm just putting it in. I'm putting it out. I'm manifesting it because I need Jamar Chase in my semi matchup this week. So I'm saying Jamar Chase.
I think I'm going Chase too. I think that he's going to have a pretty good game this week. Swerve wants to know, start to have PPR. Antonio Brown, Mooney, Miles. I think you're starting Miles.
Yeah.
I think you're starting AB.
Yeah.
And I love Darnell Mooney, but not this week.
Yeah, no disagreement here.
All right, perfect. Kicker talk. Karthik wants to know, Nick Folk or Matt Gay, time to test your buttons. It's Nick Folk, man. Mac Jones is going to get them in field goal range every time. Are they going to score touchdowns? Don't really know too much. Hold up. Let's do this real quick. Croc. I'm doing my fantasy show.
What up, Crocky?
Nah, let me know. Give me 10 minutes. I'll be off and we'll talk. I'm back in the app. All right, bro. Peace. That's because he's trying to put in them bets, man. He knows what it is. Yep. All right. Mahalo, guys. Absolutely love the show. Worth waking up early. Appreciate you, Sean, man. We're having a lot of fun. I mean, I've been drinking because I'm already getting myself set up for pain. And if not, then it's going to be like, something crazy. But, it is what it is, right? Rayner, Treadwell, or St. Brown. Now, if Jared Goff was playing Amon-Ra is the hands down play. Tim Boyle starting. Yeah. Treadwell's been picking it up a little bit with Trevor Lawrence. This is an interesting one.
This is an interesting one. I'm going to say Treadwell, actually, and I'm a big St. Brown fan. I wanted to do a victory lap like 2 weeks ago when I said he was going to do his thing, and he did his thing, but no Goff is a scary proposition. That's where all the chemistry was coming from, and Treadwell is picking it up. 5 years too late, 6 years too late, however many it's been, but I'm going to go Laquan Treadwell here.
Okay. I like it. I think so too. And I had to start St. Brown somewhere else too, but whatever. I had Kamara last year and lost that playoff game at 1 point. Ouch!
Oh my God.
Good answer on the Zeke. Good answer on the Zeke versus AB question. Appreciate you, Ben. Been swapping them out all week. Hardest choice in my season. What about Schultz, Goddard, Knox? Full PPR. Goddard.
Goddard. You can't ignore what he's doing right now.
Okay. All right. We'll stick around for like 5 more minutes, get everybody so they can get in front of their TVs and everything. But let's rapid fire real quick. All right. Josh Palmero, Burkhead. David Johnson's been put out today with Burkhead. I think I lean Burkhead.
Yeah, I lean the running back, and Burkhead's he's a little dual threat back there.
Yeah. Jay, Justin Jackson, or Russell Gage, full PPR. That's tough, but I think I lean Justin Jackson.
I lean the running back.
What an absolute name drop to have Croc called during the show. He's only bothering me so he can set a bet. It's not like we're friends or anything. It's not like we're friends or anything like that, Paul. That man does not care about me at all. Pierre.
He certainly don't care about me. I promise you that.
Flex Gronk, Ronald Jones, and Sony Michel. Ronald Jones, I think.
Ronald Jones.
All right.
He's going to get carries. He's just got to be productive.
Sean wants to know Schultz or Gesicki. I lean Schultz.
I lean Dalton Schultz as well.
All right. DJ Moore or Michael Carter in PPR flex spot. DJ Moore, but I don't feel good about it. And Michael Carter's snap shares kind of scared me. Like they went to Tevin Coleman a ton last week.
Yeah, I'm more for me just because of the upside. Carter was last week was supposed to be his week, and it was like he wasn't even on the field. I don't understand it. So DJ Moore.
All right. Michelle or Carter? Sony. Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen? Oh,
that's tough.
I get the sentiment. I get it, right? Because the Giants, right? But he looked terrible the last time they played the Giants. And Josh Allen was fine, I think, against the Patriots. I think you just stick with Josh.
Yeah. He's gotten you this far.
Ben, I've got Goddard in the lineup. Thanks, boys. I'm out. Subbed. Hoping to be back next week in the championship. Looking for advice. Good luck, everyone. Appreciate you, Ben. And I hope that as well, too, man. That would be great. Let's see. Man, have yet to play fantasy football. Honestly, I wouldn't know what to do or how to even get started. Honestly, start slow. Like, just hang out with your friends and play in a semi-competitive league where, don't jump into anything where it's like you have to be on it all the time. Sometimes, your friends won't set your lineup. And just when you start to have fun, I think that's what set me on my fantasy football thing is like I won my first year that I ever joined. And I was just like, oh, I like this feeling. I want to keep doing it. And then I dug into it a little bit more. But just having fun, I think, is more what's going to push you to it.
Absolutely. Kenny
Golladay, Zay Jones. Oh, Golladay.
I'm going to say Zay Jones.
Really?
No, I'm going to say Zay Jones. Golladay has been non-existent.
I like
He's been non-existent. And Zay might get you a 40, 50-yard completion, and that might be the difference.
Okay. Pierre, start Mark Andrews with the backup quarterback or Gronk. Oh! Yeah, you start Andrews. I think the tight end is a backup quarterback's best friend, and they're not going to leave him out of it. And I think that if you're seeing him dominate with Lamar, he dominated with Tyler, why wouldn't you think that would continue? But Gronk's target share is up there, man. I understand the thought. Maybe play both.
Flex one.
Yeah. So is Michelle the guy now? Hot hand. Right now, McVay's running hot hand, and why wouldn't he? Michelle's been looking better, and since they went to the philosophical change of heavy set, Michelle's been the guy. So we'll take this last one from Ajay, and we'll get out of here. Clyde, Hollywood, Javonte. I think Clyde.
Yeah, I'm going CEH.
All right, perfect. All right, one more. Manuel or Van Jefferson? Van.
Yeah, I'm staying on that Van train. I've been tooting that horn for a while. I'm staying with Van.
Van, it's got to be. He has the potential to have one big play. Absolutely. And yes, Paul, good luck to everybody. Have some fun, win some games. Proud of everybody who has a real good chance to move on. And I'm not hurt at all. I promise I'm not hurt. Let's take this one last one and we'll get out of here. All in one. Eagles, Bengals, or Denver D? Eagles. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're here, just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. We will be doing one last for the championship next week. But the Niners content never stops over here. Weston, let everybody know where to find your podcast. And I appreciate you being on here, even though Lou dipped out on us because he doesn't want to be on the show anymore. And we have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, we'll have an offline conversation with that man for sure. But you can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at WTFPodNFL. Or on a YouTube channel at We're Talking Football. Jason, this has been so much fun. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in and for all the questions. Hope you go win. And most importantly, I hope everybody continues to have a wonderful, safe holiday.
Yep, absolutely. And enjoy your games. Enjoy your time with your family because it is Sunday. But 49er fans especially, enjoy football without having to worry about what the 49ers playing. And make sure that you stick to your rooting guide. Who needs to win and who can get the 49ers in. Make sure that you want those NFC teams to lose. So we're rooting Rams over Vikings. We're rooting Miami over New Orleans. And there's a few other ones in there as well, too. So still some interesting things to watch, but it should be a relaxing day overall for 49er fans for once on a Sunday. So I'm Jason. That's Weston. Go win your championships, man.
Do it.
Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte.